It's good to see you guys. Excited about the win. We did not play our best, but I'm proud of the fight. I think if this was a game earlier in the year, we'd find a way to not come out with a win. And so to battle through adversity and, we give the ball away to only fight to get the ball back. I think those things are good to see. I think in some ways, right, it can be a positive for us moving into next week. I think we're playing probably the hottest team that there is. And so this can be a really good wake-up call. We'll use it that way. Take any questions you guys got.
Did you see this, like you said, earlier in the year, maybe you lose a game like this. Did you see this type of resilience in this bunch?
Yeah. It's hard. It's when you're trying hard and it's not really working, and you don't suck, but there's just a whole bunch of stuff coming at you that you suck, then it's just easy to think that you suck, and so that's half the battle right there, really. That's half the battle. And so, we talk about keeping the outside on the outside, and sometimes it gets on the inside, and when adversity hits, it's usually when it seeps in. And so to having gone through all of that, to get to the other side of now that we can win and we're winners and we're going to find a way to win, it's I think you can feel solid in just who you are and what you're about because you've been through all of it.
Do you care if it's great? Do you care if a win is great? You kind of touched on it, the way you won this game.
Yeah.
Can that help you moving forward?
I think, as far as like all the narratives are hard because everything's going to get judged and everything's going to be critiqued and everything's going to be, and so you can control that to a degree in terms of how dominant you play. And so for that reason, you'd love to play in a dominant fashion. But I think in terms of like an overall arc of growth, in terms of finding out new things about yourself and things that you can improve and areas that you thought were solidified that really ain't, right? To really see the truth and to get better at it and to accept that and maybe we're not as good in this area. I think those are things you'd rather learn before the end of the test. And so we're nearing the end of the test. So to have this type of information, I think is going to help us.
Dave, it's so long ago, it's almost like forgotten that interception by Jeff and Bobby and they're right there knocking. How big was that? Because he had a chance at one last week.
Yeah, I think for that group in particular, I'm way proud of all those guys. Devin Lemire had one, Snacks has got one hand, he got one. It's really cool to see. That group has been through a fair amount of adversity and a fair amount of narratives, and kind of in a way called out for this game, and to respond the way they did is something that we all knew they would. But still, it's good to see. Way proud of them.
Dave, this is a chaotic conference with a lot of, things happening. You guys are actually still mathematically alive for the World Championship going into the last game. Could you have imagined that when y'all were 2-4? Or?
I know that the conference every week is something new, and I know that there's so much talent, and a lot of the talent's kind of evenly spread out. And so, are you playing at home? Do you have an injury? Right? There's so many things that can just slightly affect the game and can take it into whole different types of directions. So I know the Big 12 is that for sure. But there's teams. Kansas is one. That started out kind of rough like we did, that have found their way like we have. And so it should be a pretty cool game here coming up with two teams playing their best football.
How important is Michael Trigg to this offense, especially in the first half? He came up with a few really clutch catches.
Yeah. I thought we struggled to see the trap coverage, with the corners playing really hard in the flats and safeties working out to cover for the corners that were playing hard. So the corners would come up, the safeties would go out like that. So when they do it like that, you put your math outside, you leave the middle open. So it's good to have a guy like Trigg for that, And so I think a lot of his throws were based upon where the rotation of the coverages were going. All their people are outside. It's thin on the inside. And so to have someone that can make one-handed catches and can just be a mismatch, you know, a linebacker is a mismatch, a safety a lot of times. You know, Trigg can push off and find space is a mismatch, and so it's been good for us. I'm proud of Trigg, of his off-the-field growth. You know, it's way cool. Was talking about this earlier, where, you know, in the land of just all the money and all the things that go on, that there can still be growth off the field in terms of maturity and in terms of doing things the right way, and in terms of ownership, and how that can affect the on the field. And so for Trigg, in my book, is up and up in all areas, and it's cool that that can still happen.
Sawyer came in today with only 4 interceptions on the year. Obviously a tough day today.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like it's just an aberration, or?
You know, I think that I give credit to Houston and their staff. I've known those guys for a long time. They come from the kind of that App State tree, and Nate Woody tree, and just the coverage adjustments and just the way they think is kind of similar to some of the things that we do. And so it's just, you know, you knew coming in with their talent in the interior, and then their adjustments in the back end, that this was going to be a tough one. And so to kind of persevere through it and find ways to build to manufacture yards and to get it going when you're not at your best, I think is something we can take away. But for sure, there's a lot we got to clean up, and we're going to need to clean up to be competitive this next week.
You've mentioned wanting to see some defensive improvement
Mm-hmm.
over the past couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a game like this where they just allow 3 points,
Mm-hmm.
are you able to, is it possible to carry that momentum into the next game and then into the postseason?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to. You know, I think so much of it is just belief, is knowing that we can make a stop, knowing when the ball's in the air, I can come down with it. And so I think tonight can add or aid in that endeavor. But it's really going to come down to the preparation for this next opponent, right? The things we got to stop, the attention to detail. You know, we're talking about all the things on the outside still to get focused on, you know, that next step for us. And so we'll see if we can take some momentum this week to the next.
Do you remember the Houston Oilers?
I do.
You were playing them out there?
No, I do. The uniforms were cool though. Yeah.
And then the defensive guys, when they were in here, said just the stuff that they've been seeing in practice for weeks now, they finally were able to do it on the field. Do you feel that way?
Well, I'm glad we're getting somewhere with it. Yeah, I'll take it.
This group of 5 offensive linemen have been playing pretty well. Was this their toughest game?
Yeah. This is the most talented front we've played, and you know, again, the spacing and just they were structured to stop the runs that we're trying to do, and so they got really talented people put in the right spot. So again, a lot of credit goes to them, you know, and so we're going to have to look at this game and make adjustments off of it, because it'll be copycatted, and so you know, I'm glad it happened, and I'm glad we got the win off of it, because we got to get better.
Kind of grinding out for a game tonight. What do you feel like the difference was for you guys?
Well, first I'd like to give thanks to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And then I'd like to say, I think the difference was we knew that Houston was going to have they had one of the best defense in the conference. So it was kind of like a challenge to us to see who was going to be better this week on stopping the run, stopping the QB power and counter, and then on the back end, stopping the pass game.
How important is it to win a game like this where maybe things aren't running on all cylinders for y'all, but you still come out with the win? How important is it to kind of win a game the way you did?
Very, just like when we're down, we need the offense to help us out. Tonight was a night where the offense needed us to help out. Still super proud of those guys. They fought all the way through. It just showed we had to really step up and take care of business tonight.
Keaton, season high 4 takeaways. Talk about that. Really kind of sealing the deal there in the fourth quarter.
That's been a big emphasis this whole season. We started off in the negatives with our turnover ratio. We turned it around after the second bye week, and then now it's just, how far can we go into the green with the plus mark? And, I think we're all super excited. Guys are starting to catch picks. Everything we've been doing in practice, we're starting to do in the game, and that's nothing better feeling than that.
Do you guys take pride in the fact that Houston did not score an offensive touchdown against y'all?
Oh yeah, we take big pride in that. We always wanted to go. We wanted to go out there and get our first goose egg. That was the plan. They did score on defense, but I feel like we still count that in our books.
For you, you now have 100 tackles on the season. Was that a goal for you, and how have you felt that you become a part of this team?
Definitely, that was my first goal. That's on my phone. I wake up and look at that every day. So it's good to hit that mark, but it's 100 plus, so 100 ain't gonna cut it. I gotta get some more. But I mean, I feel it's great to help this team win and add value onto the defense. That was my goal. I'm super blessed and thankful for Coach Aranda, the staff, everybody from my teachers to the students and the supporters. Like I love it here, and I couldn't be more thankful.
There's still some things that would have to happen. You guys are actually still alive for the Big 12 championship game. When y'all were 2-4, could you have imagined that? Or?
I did. I mean, I'd never lost out in the team. I think people started to see a repeat of last year maybe, but within the facility, we knew what it was. We knew there were a couple of things we had to fine tune, and I feel like each week we've gotten better at cleaning that up, and it's starting to show. We still have a lot further to go, but I'm just excited about this team and excited about next week.
Elinus, 5th consecutive win. Just keeping the momentum going. How big was that tonight? With everything else that's happened in the league, just y'all winning your 5th consecutive win.
Yeah, no, it was great. The emphasis this week was to not fall into the trap. Guys get into a 4-game win streak and you think that, wins come easy. Wins do not come easy. Preparation, all that still applies for the game. So, we went in, we practiced just as hard as we did week 1 with weightlifting, practice, film, everything like that. And, and it showed when we came onto the field and everybody did their job.
Where do you go from here? How do you carry that momentum from the last 5 games into this one more against Kansas?
Well, you erase everything that you did before, and you start a new week, watch film, like I said, and prepare. And you get into next Saturday, and you do what you got to do.
Bryson, it's kind of a gritty win. I mean, some might say an ugly win, but I guess they're all wins, right? I mean, how much pride did you guys take on coming on the road and getting a win like this?
We knew it was going to be a dogfight, and we got what we expected. And I just feel like we just kept pounding the rock, keep running downhill. Eventually, they'll get a little bit tired of it, and we'll bust a few plays, and that was just what we game plan.
Bryson, against this defense, which might be the best defense in the league, you take a lot of pride in that. Another 100-yard game, you take a lot of pride in that against that defense.
Oh, yes, sir, most definitely. I'm proud of myself for the 100-yard game, obviously, but I was just wanting to win. That's really all that matters to me.
Is there, was there any miscommunication? There was a couple of sacks there.
Right.
Sawyer took, was this the toughest game for the offensive line?
I'd say it was definitely one of the biggest challenges for us. We're playing against one of the best fronts we've played against. I'd just say there was a little miscommunication, and we plan to get that cleaned up for next week.
Omar, there's still some things that would have to happen. You guys are actually still alive for the Big 12 championship game.
Right.
Could you have imagined that at 2-4?
No. At 2-4, it's a hard place for a team to be, but we have a team that's so resilient. And when we were 2-4, everybody had faith that we were going to have a winning season, and that's what we were able to do. As far as the Big 12 championship goes, losing 4 games is hard to win a championship, but we're just going to take it one game at a time.
What kind of game do you guys have? Do y'all, give applause or whatever to the defense for doing what they did and kind of sealing it there in the fourth quarter?
Right. Yeah. Our defense definitely took over this game. I'm happy to see that. When the offense is down, we have a defense that can pick us up. So.
Omar, do you care how you win? Do you care if it's pretty?
I do a little bit. I wanted our O-line to play a little bit better, but at the end of the day, I'm just happy we won.
Bryson Sawyer seems to be that kind of guy that he puts stuff behind him, like with the 2 picks, and he just kind of put those behind him and keep playing.
Yes, sir. He's always been that type of guy since the spring. I always have faith in Sawyer. He's a next play guy, and that's what we preach in the backfield.
Was he throwing to you on the pick 6?
Yes, sir, he was.